But if you are watching, welcome to the stream. This is something I've been wanting to do for a while, I like to say in my head, I've been threatening to do for a while. Over the past couple months, I got really, really into blueprints, and I'm actually pretty far in the game, but still have a lot of stuff to discover. And it's also kind of just become my comfort game, as the world is what it is. So I kept saying to myself, I've been putting so many hours into this game, I should stream it. Just to be streaming something, at least until I start doing the Silent Hill streams again, which I will be after the New Year's. Not this Wednesday, but Wednesday, January 7th, I will be starting up a playthrough of Silent Hill 4 The Room, and doing a lot of the similar like story and music analysis stuff. The music analysis might not be quite as meaty as the stuff I did for the Silent Hill 2 remake, partly because the soundtrack is less thematic than the Silent Hill 2 soundtrack, and so there's like less connective material between everything. But it's still a really interesting game, and there are also some really cool pieces of music on the soundtrack, most notably the vocal tracks that Mary Elizabeth McGlynn sings on. And I'll definitely have a bunch of stuff to say about those. But also, like, Walter Sullivan is mentioned in a few different ways in Silent Hill 2, and they just decided to kind of riff on that for Silent Hill 4 in some really interesting ways. Not always the best gameplay decisions, but story-wise, I still think it's a really interesting story. So yeah, if that sounds interesting to you, keep an eye out on my Twitch channel next Wednesday, January 7th at 7 p.m. Eastern. And I'll be starting to play that. But anyway, that's not what we're playing tonight. Tonight, we're playing Blueprints. Like I said, I'm actually pretty far in the game already. I have 7 of the 8 red letters. So, yeah, there are probably going to be spoilers in this, but there's also a bunch of stuff I still haven't done. If you want to go into this game completely cold, then I totally understand, and feel free to log off the stream. It is a really cool game, but it's also one of those games where everyone's gameplay experience is going to be different. Everyone's going to discover things in a different order. So, and I've also like done a lot of the more direct story stuff, so I don't know that you'll necessarily get spoiled on too much story-wise by watching me, but then again, I might hit something and be like, oh, this really cool thing about the lore, and there it is. So, fair warning. But yeah, I thought I was getting close to being done with the game. I had gotten to room 46. I gotten 7 of the 8 red letters. And then I took the final exam for the first time, the final exam in the classrooms, and discovered, oh, there is so much more to this game than I have really been taking full stock of. And I decided, well, if I've still got a ways to go with finishing the game, I might as well stream it and use it as a way to hang with people in chat and stuff. We shall see. I think there's one other place I wanted to post about playing, and then we'll get started. If there is anyone in chat watching, feel free to say hi. Let me know you're here. Or if you're watching on YouTube, I'll probably be uploading this VOD to YouTube, so definitely let me know if you're interested in seeing more of this game. Hey! Hey there, Andy. He's finally doing it. Yep. I really did not do a good job of like promoting this at all because I've been meaning to do it for the past several Mondays, and I didn't want to put too much pressure on it and be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna do it, and then just be like, oh, I don't feel like doing it, since it isn't necessarily the main event, so to speak, on the channel. So yeah, it may just be you and me, Andy, tonight. But we'll see. We'll see if anyone is looking for something to watch at this hour on a Monday night. And we'll see how far I can get with... See if I can make any actual progress in this game. I have kind of plateaued it a little bit, which is another reason why I wanted to stream it. Because I have... been referencing the Blueprints wiki from time to time. I see no issue with that. There's some stuff in this game that I don't think I would have gotten unless I was really, really like on point. But yeah, I'm at day 79. Like I said, I've made it to room 46 a bunch of times. It is not my main goal at this point. Yeah, I have things still yet to discover. I also have a 68 coin allowance, which I'm pretty proud of. And I've learned some of the tricks of drafting to like boost my prospects, but also there are certain things about this game that my brain just isn't latching on to for whatever reason. Let's do the trading post this time. You never know what you might want to get. Yeah, I have no items to trade. I still have a few rooms in the house left to discover. As you can see, I blew up the wall of the trading post and discovered the secret room back here, which when I did it, it was at the end of a day, and so the 40 gold that was left here ended up being for naught because I couldn't use it on anything. Christoph, here's the rest of your share, 40 gold from the moonshine shipment we made last week. This may be the last batch for quite some time, as I feel it is no longer worth the risk, especially given Anne's continually increasing suspicion. But I do need to ask another small favor of you. Next week, when you take the Baron to town, if you can fabricate some excuse to delay your return by an hour or two, I would be much beholden to you. Denny. That's the other thing. Like, I've been trying to keep notes and stuff. My friend Barge told me very early on to just start using F12 and take screenshots in Steam, which has been very helpful, but is also not necessarily the best way to approach this game if you're trying to like make connections and draw conclusions more easily. That is some of the more classic note-taking type of gameplay. So let's see what I got here. I almost always draft the utility closet now as soon as I can find it, because it's just very, very useful. Also, if anyone has any questions about anything in chat, I don't know how familiar people are going to be with this game if they decide to hop in. So, definitely let me know. Like grabbing the workshop early, because usually has a good or useful item to start off with. I also made the workshop more commonplace using the gear wrench. Same with the utility closet. So that's part of why I was able to get them so soon. Let's do the observatory because I've got 54 stars, which means I can start using stars to draw new floor plans, which can be really helpful when I'm trying to solve something in particular, or things are getting more complicated in the later ranks. So yeah, for those who aren't familiar with this game, again, I know it's really just you in chat right now, Andy, but if I'm uploading this to YouTube later, I want to be accommodating. This is a roguelike puzzle game. And I typically have not had a great track record with roguelikes because most roguelikes are combat-based, roguelike or roguelite. I never know if I'm using the right term, but basically what that means is like there is a certain formula to gameplay. You do a run, and the whole point of the game is to do multiple runs and do better or do different things on each run to make progress in like the overall arc of the game. So day 79, that's my 79th time starting in the front entrance hall and drafting my way to the top. Now the dining room is another one where like it would be much better for me to have this in one of the higher ranks, but it's one of those rooms where I can't count on it showing up again in the drafting, even though this would be a pretty good place for the passageway. But I also bought the lunchbox, so that's useful. Earlier than rank 8. It's like I'm being sent off. It's like, hey, you're starting a new day? Take the lunchbox with you. Have a nice day, honey. I'm gonna do the courtyard and hope that it's got the shovel in it. Yeah! Shovel. So now I can dig up all these little dirt piles I've been finding. Nothing. Coins. Useful. Nothing of interest. Turnip. Useful. And a key. Also very useful. Okay, let's go this way. I'm gonna hit the commissary. Man, the commissary the past couple times I've come in here has not been great. It's just been gems and food and stuff. I mean, keys will be useful. But yeah, I don't think I need to buy anything yet. We'll see. Hound on the library in a bit. See, this is another thing is like it's it's helpful to have particular goals you're working towards in this game, and I've kind of accomplished a lot of the stuff that I knew I needed to figure out already. I still need to figure out Blackbridge Grotto. I have gotten power to Blackbridge Grotto, but I've gotten into the admin network with it, but I have not gotten all three of the nodes or whatever that power the door in Blackbridge Grotto. There's also the fountain in the garden that I haven't really accomplished anything with yet, except for like using a a heat source to trigger one of the pieces of that puzzle. And some of this stuff I have looked up a little bit. Hey, how's it going, Goofin? Good to see you. Goofin, are you familiar with blueprints? Because I am well into this game story-wise, but the basics. Ah, okay. So, basically, this is a game where you know what, I'm gonna draft this or request this. This is a game. It's a puzzle game. It is a roguelike puzzle game where each day you start off in the entrance hall and you're trying to get to like the basic premise is you're trying to get to room 46. The idea is that you are the inheritor of Mount Holly Estate, this big mansion in a fictional country, and the Baron of Mount Holly, Baron Herbert Sinclair. I'm remembering details. See, this is useful for me because maybe as I'm reiterating lore beats, I will stumble upon something that I need to do with the puzzles. But yeah, basically, I think you're like I want to say 16-year-old kid. You might be younger than that. You're a kid who is like the young heir to this estate after Baron Sinclair passes away. But he's like, hey, to really fully to receive your full inheritance, you need to get to room 46. Now, this house is a grid of 5 squares by 9 squares, so 45 rooms. That does not include room 46. Room 46 is right above this antechamber. So the early parts of this game are playing through each day, drafting different rooms. Basically, every time you open a door, you are presented with 3 different rooms. Reminds me of a little of the old Zork type map game. Unlock a room to get to the next one. Yeah. I have not played Zork, but that does sound along the same lines. But yeah, so open the door. You're presented with 3 floor plans to choose for your next room. And since doing the observatory would send me down and the ballroom would reduce my gems potentially if I got more gems later, like, yeah, that wouldn't be good. I'm going to do the gallery, which will give me more gems. But yeah, so the early parts of the game are just trying to draft your way to the top and unlock the doors to the antechamber and get to room 46. Over the course of the game, you discover that there is a whole lot more going on behind the scenes. First of all, there's all these different puzzles to solve, like the puzzles here in the gallery. And there's also a story of, like, Baron Sinclair is your great uncle, I think. And, yeah, your mother, Mary, was a very successful author who disappeared several years ago. And so as you explore the estate, you discover more and more about what was Baron Sinclair doing before he died? What was your mother doing before she disappeared? And some of that stuff is contained in plain sight. Some of that stuff is buried behind puzzles and stuff. But suffice to say, yeah, you want to explore it to learn the family secrets. Suffice to say, this game has been like crack for me because I love puzzles, I love mysteries, I love storytelling, and it's just such a creative way to do a game like this. It's like if you combined Myst and roguelike video games, and it's been very cool. Okay, let's do the conference room. Because again, trying to move forward. The conference room is really useful to get earlier rather than later, so that when you get rooms that can spread items like food or keys throughout the building, they'll just go straight here. So yeah, that's another thing. If you can see on the upper left hand side of the screen, that top number is the number of steps I have. You only have so many steps per day, and you use up a step every time you move into a new room or a new location. There's food you can find in the manor to replenish your steps, and there are also items that like the running shoes that can reduce the number of steps that get used up as you move. None of the... Well, no, I can do the breakfast nook. Like, for example, we've got some food right here. The bacon and eggs. And that'll add 10 steps, so I can keep going. Also, me being who I am, I cannot help but see a lot of... first of all, like, there's just a... yeah, you definitely try to not backtrack, Goofin, but I am notoriously bad about that. But I compensate by finding ways to replenish my steps. Let's do the den. But yeah, so I... like when you first start the game off, you start with 50 steps per day, and then I got an improvement so that I start each day off with 70 steps, which is definitely helpful. Okay. See now, here's a situation where any of these rooms that I have in front of me, if I draft them, would basically mean the end of my run, because it would create a closed loop over here, and I've not done the combination of things to get through security so that I can go up through the foundation and start from there. But because of the observatory, which is where these stars come into play, each time you draft the observatory, you get more of these stars, which affect which constellations you see in the observatory, which give you different benefits. But once you hit 50 stars, you start seeing this constellation called the Inkwell, which allows you to use stars to redraw floor plans. So I'm going to do that until I get something that's going to point upwards, because otherwise that will end my day, and I would rather not end my day. Yes, so you build your own floor plan, and that way it's actually kind of like, I don't know if you've ever played the tabletop board game Betrayal at House on the Hill. It's that was one of the things this game reminded me of first, was that board game, because it's a similar situation where you're essentially drafting rooms from a deck. The difference in this game being you're drafting 3 rooms at a time. I wish I had actually gone to draft this from below, though, because if I got a straight on, okay, the run is still alive. We got some stuff. Do I want to do the kitchen right now or the parlor? Parlor will give me more gems. And parlor will also be more interesting for anyone who wants to see the puzzle side of this game. Also, coin purse. Each time you collect 3 coins, earn an additional 1 in interest. So there are a bunch of different items you can find throughout the game that can assist you with stuff like that. And this is a wind-up key for the parlor game, which I'll read off this note. May the 2nd. Dear Herbert, it was a great honor receiving the invitation to dine at your estate with the Oldhams this past Thursday. If I'm being frank, it had been quite a while since we had been seen in decent society, and we were beginning to worry that my wife's wit had lost its charm. I have no delusions that my company is rival to hers. If I can refresh your memory, we both spent much of that evening discussing our mutual love of games and puzzles, and I had mentioned to you a rather singular parlor game I had played some years back involving 3 boxes of different colors. You had pressed me to write with the particulars of this game when I found the time, and I have included with this letter all the details you will need to share with guests should you be inclined to play this confounding game. Always your friend, M. Lowry. Or Lowry. So these are the 3 rules of the parlor game. There will always be at least 1 box which displays only true statements. There will always be at least 1 box which displays only false statements. And only 1 box has a prize within. The other 2 are always empty. There's a upgrade you can get to have a prize in multiple boxes, but I went with a different one that gave you 3 gems as the prize instead of just 2. Because there was a time in this game when I was having a lot of trouble getting gems, and I still do from time to time. Now, I have played the parlor puzzle many, many times at this point, to the point where I got a trophy for it for beating 40 parlor game puzzles. The puzzle changes every time you draft the room, and the more that you play it, the more complex it gets. So let's see what these 3 boxes say. The second statement on the black box is false. The black box contains the gems. Every statement with the word blue is false. Both statements on the blue box are true. The blue box contains the gems. So, a lot of the puzzles in this game are just pure logic puzzles, like this one. So every statement with the word blue is false is already a... I wish I knew the actual term for this, but like, it's a logical fallacy or something like that, because this statement includes the word blue. So for it to be true, it would have to be false, which would mean it would have to be true. It would be true, and yeah, it just, that circular logic that made the androids in that one episode of the original Star Trek series explode. Or for a more contemporary reference, it was a plot point in Portal 2. So, second statement on the black box is false, which would be the blue box contains gems. It says the black box contains gems. Both statements on the blue box are true. Okay. think I've got it. I think I know which box the gems are in based on the information that I have here. Anyone in chat want to take a guess? I'll walk you through my logic. Again, this one's just a circular logic thing. So both statements on the blue box are true. A lot of these, you cannot save and reload if you mess up. So this is the thing, is you can only save this, if you want to save the game, you have to call it a day. And basically, you call it a day if you aren't able to draft anymore. If there's nothing else you can do, then that would be a reason to call it a day before you run out of steps. Or if, you need to save the game for some reason. So there is, and it can be annoying sometimes when it's like, oh, I've been playing for a while, but now I got to go do this thing, but there's still so much I can do in this day, but I'm going to lose all that progress if I stop playing. But it's a logical contingency to have in a game like this, where so much of it is based on like your strategy when it comes to drafting and the different fortune or misfortune you have on a particular run. I think that's pretty standard for most roguelikes, because the whole idea is that you're not just playing through it once, you're playing through it multiple times and gaining different things on each run. So yeah, both statements on the blue box are true. The way that I usually approach these is like, okay, let's just take one of these statements and try to follow it logically. You learn as you go to win rather than just conquer it. I follow one of these statements to its logical conclusion as if it were true. So both statements on the blue box are true. If that's true, then the second statement on the black box is false, and the black box contains the gems. Second statement on the black box is the blue box contains the gems, which follows logically from these two statements being true, which follows logically from this first statement being true. This one's basically just, it's filler almost. So, based on my knowledge of this puzzle and my dizzying intellect, in the words of Wesley, I have determined that the gems must be contained in the black box. Voila. This one had more steps to it, but there are some puzzles I've had in this room that truly threw me for a loop. I haven't solved every single one. I was doing so well, and then right before I got to 40 to get the trophy for beating 40 parlor room puzzles, that was when I got stumped by one. I was like, no! And it is so depressing to open the box and there's nothing to be in there. But that didn't happen this time. So I didn't make a fool of myself on stream for everyone. Okay. We're still trying to get up to the foundation. And one of the rooms I'm trying to see if I can draft is security, because that makes, as you get into the higher ranks, security doors will pop up, and you can only get through them either by using a security card, which I haven't found on this run, or by turning off the security system in the utility closet and then setting the state of the security doors when they're off to unlocked. Or a third way that you get later in the game, if you have the kennel in your drafting pool, that the special ability that that room has is anytime you dig in a room, all the doors in that room get unlocked, which includes the security doors, which is very cool. We'll see if we get the kennel. But yeah, a lot of these rooms have little special things that they do for you on each run. Kind of like if you've ever played Magic the Gathering, like there are passive effects that are on the board. There are things that you get when you first draft. Yeah, and that it is Goofin, it is so replayable for that very reason. And I still haven't found all the rooms. I think there are 3 floor plans I still have yet to discover. Like I think I'm at 107 out of 110 or 111. Nice to find an orange. And okay, yeah. Let's do the morning room because I don't need money. I don't want money to get taken away. Red rooms give you penalties. So like the chapel, for example, if I drafted this, it would give me an extra doorway to use, but anytime I enter there, I lose a coin. Not as big of a deal now that I start each day with a 68 coin allowance, but still can be annoying if you draft some of the shop rooms and have to spend a bunch of money on stuff. The morning room is also nice because it's what they call a tomorrow room. It's got this little clock on it, and any room that has that symbol on it usually has an effect that will always has an effect that will give you a benefit on the run following the current one. So tomorrow I'll start with an extra 2 gems. So now, here is the foundation. Foundation is a room that you discover through playing, and when you discover it, it is permanently there every time, every day afterwards. Because the foundation is what leads to everything underneath Mount Holly Manor, including the lever that opens the northernmost door in the antechamber, allowing you to enter room 46. But if I were to go down this elevator right now, I wouldn't be able to get to that lever because at the bottom of this there is a locked door that you can only open with the basement key, unless you approach it from the other side, which I can. But if I approach it from the other side right now, there would be no elevator for me to go up in. And I don't have, like I mentioned before, I don't have the security stuff hacked so that I can call the elevator for myself. So, wait, went the wrong way. Pebbles. Great. And a key. All right. Goofin, I'm so glad that you're here. Not just because, like, it's nice to have people in chat while I'm playing, but if I'm uploading this to YouTube, this will work really well as an introduction to the game for anyone who follows my YouTube channel. There's security. Okay. So here's what I do now in security. I can view the estate inventory. Basically, I can see what items have been left around the estate that I haven't picked up. So there are 2 gems I haven't picked up, 8 coins I haven't picked up, and the car keys, which I did not realize had been left somewhere, and are very useful if I can draft the garage. But for the time being... Wait, no, I didn't need to exit. I still need to go in there. That is... So, the estate inventory is only in the rooms that are currently on the map. So, anything that I've already drafted or anything on the grounds, because sometimes there's a shed on the grounds that you can draft special rooms in outside every day, and some of them will have certain effects, like the tomb has an effect where every time you draft a dead end room, it'll spread coins in the tomb so you can get more money. Yeah. So there's that, and the keycard system. So since I have the utility closet and I turned the security system off, I'm actually going to set the security level to high to get more security doors in the upper ranks, because they are all offline and I am setting them to be unlocked when they're offline. So now, instead of running into more locked doors that I have to open with a key, I will hopefully run into more security doors that are unlocked because I've set the keycard system up this way. There's a bunch of other stuff you can do on this computer too. Actually, let me show you one of my most recent discoveries, because this was a note that I wanted to take the other day that I haven't yet. So, got the password. Oh, actually, so that's a regular password, but there is also a special password to hack into the security system and see previous security tapes. Home security surveillance. So 1987. This has a timeline that kind of loosely follows our own, but the world itself is completely fictional. But yeah, this kind of has like the aesthetic of the late 80s, early 90s. So there's 3 videos I can watch from 1987, and I know they're important for something, but I haven't figured out what just yet. So let's watch the library security footage from February 9th, 10:59 a.m. 1987. Dates are important in this game. It's kind of hard to tell at first who's in this. I want to say that is Mary, the player character's mother, sitting at the table in the library. And then I want to say that's Herbert Sinclair standing by the bookshelves, now walking over. Or it might be someone else in this estate. There's not a whole ton to divine from this video, but I think in combination with the other two, it kind of paints a little bit of a story. This game is also so friggin' moody in the best way possible. Like, I love the music. It's so atmospheric. So that's a library. And that's basically just Mary and I assume Sinclair discussing something. Next one is from basically an hour later. In the entrance hall. Someone, maybe Sinclair, or someone else entirely carrying something, stealing something, maybe? I'm not sure who that is. It almost looked like they were carrying a vase. Hey, Octo, we are playing Blueprints. I'm very deep into the game, but I still have a bunch of other stuff to uncover. So, I've been given Goofin the rundown of the basic gist of this game. Basically, it's a roguelike video game where you're drafting rooms of this big manor and trying to get to room 46, but there's a whole bunch of other stuff. It's a roguelike puzzle game rather than a roguelike combat game. And right now I am reviewing security footage. It is so cool, Octo. I think you would love this game. So I'll try to keep the spoilers to a minimum, but even then, like, there's no way I could spoil everything about this game for you in the amount of time that I'm going to be playing tonight. And I've also solved a lot of the puzzles that I could spoil you on, so won't necessarily have to worry about that. But yeah, this last piece of security footage is the most intriguing to me. And I'm watching it again to see how it connects to the others. So there was a guy carrying something out. Oh, I think I might know what that something was. But I'll remain tight-lipped about it for a moment. So there's Mary, our mother. And she's showing us something. And I'm just like, what does it mean? And that could be anything from a map to a symbol of some sort to like that. That's how. That is the thing I really love about this game is it has logic puzzles like the parlor room puzzle that we were doing before you hopped on Octo, and it's got word puzzles and math puzzles, and it's just like the guy who made this game just loved puzzles and used every type of puzzle he could to make this a cool and mysterious game. And it does not hold back. Some of the puzzles, like I said, are maybe on the more straightforward side, and others are just like the gallery has this puzzle in it where I was just like, I looked up most of the answers. The Blueprints wiki, I got to give them a shout out because it's designed really well where for each of the puzzles in the game they have hints that you can reveal before you actually reveal the final answer, which was very helpful in the gallery puzzle and made me feel less like an idiot where like some of them for 3 out of the 4 puzzles in that room I revealed like all 4 of the hints that they had, and I was like, I still don't get it, and then revealed the answer. I'm like, I don't think I would have gotten that. But then the 4th puzzle, I revealed several of the hints, and I was like, wait, I think I know what it is, and I got it. Okay. We have found security, which makes me feel much better about moving forward because now I don't have to worry about security doors. I'm going to draft the quarter and hope that I can get the garage on the west side of the manor. There are certain rooms you can only draft in certain areas, and the garage is one of them. None of these are the garage. I could redraw to see if I can get the garage. But I usually try to avoid redrawing if I don't have to. I mean, the terrace and the storeroom are useful. I hate the chapel. You know what? Let's do the terrace. Because green rooms are pretty nice, and not having to spend gems on them is also pretty nice. And also, they had a gem waiting for me. I just love the aesthetic of this game. Like, I love the colors. I love the, like, I don't know if this is cel shaded, but like that kind of style of artwork. It's just very cool. But now we shall progress forward. Ah, that little bird call was for the dovecote. Whenever you draw a dovecote while drafting, you may rotate floor plans, which is really nice in this game, being able to rotate floor plans, especially if I was drafting this like sideways and everything was pointing downwards and not pointing upwards. But I don't need to rotate anything because the boiler room is here, and the boiler room gives me at least 2 extra entrances. I could have rotated that so that it was pointing north. Oh, I'm hearing the lunchbox, so I just got 10 additional steps. That's another thing, Octo. On the upper left-hand side, it shows the number of steps you have each day, and when you run out of steps, you forcibly end that run. Is there any dirt down here I can dig through? No. Okay. Man, that chapel really wants to happen. You know what? I am going to draft it to get it out of the draft pool, but I'm not going to enter it unless I absolutely have to. Another reason that I want to get the garage is because the garage has 3 keys in it, which will be very useful when I get into the higher ranks and there are more locked doors. So yeah, let's draft the passageway. So the stars you acquire from, at first just from the observatory, but then there are other rooms that can give you more stars. Like you might have just seen the planetarium was one of the rooms I could draft. In the observatory, you can look through the telescope and see different constellations that will give you different benefits. Like there's one that looks like a diamond that will give you an additional 5 gems, or one that is a triangle and they call it the slice, like a pizza slice, and it gives you additional steps. I think I have that one right. What it can also do for you later on in the game, like where I'm at, when you hit 50 stars, you start seeing a constellation in the observatory called the Inkwell, which allows you to use stars to redraft rooms. So if I open this door and I don't like what I'm seeing, I can use stars to redraw floor plans. But I do like the drawing room, so I'm going to draft that. And I've solved the puzzle in here already, so there's a gem waiting for me in this safe. Some of the rooms have safes in them that have these red letters that basically give you information about the overarching story. Hello, Tabachinova. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Welcome to the chat. I am on day 79 of Blueprints and well into the story and stuff, but there's still so much for me to discover. So yeah, and you can get these red letters out of order, so I might as well. This was actually not the first one that I got in this game, but it was technically the first one I ever read, because the first time I ever played Blueprints was when I was visiting a friend down in North Carolina, and he had it up on his PS5. So just to give you a taste, April 15th. Dearest Mary, I know the events of the past year have catapulted you into a world you may not have been ready for. It's cruel the way time rips through our lives, leaving them barren and fruitless like wind-scarred plains. Throughout this all, I know your principal concern has always been Simon. You didn't need to confide in me yesterday for me to realize that fact. Everyone who knows you understands this. I will take full responsibility to ensure that regardless of how your current project pans out, Simon is shielded from any fallout and, God forbid, repercussions. A child should never suffer the iniquity of their parents. I, of course, write you all this in the hope that I can set your mind at peace when imagining the worst-case scenarios, not because I think such an outcome is likely. No, Mary, I have few apprehensions and fewer fears. Assuming everything goes according to plan, you should be reunited with Simon again before his 10th birthday. And while 2 years might seem like an eternity to a mother, I've always heard the days pass by more quickly in the East. As for me and you, I have already come to terms that our meeting yesterday was very likely our last. I am too old and too stubborn to ever leave this place. I'm too attached to the home our family has built up, room by room. Yes, I have a strong premonition I will be buried in red soil under red flags. A compromise I know you yourself would never accept. It's been a joy watching you grow up and getting to know you. Your mother and I spoke of little else during your school days. I know she'd feel the same bittersweet pride I feel now, to see you following in your father's footsteps and making the same sacrifices he did. Farewell, my marigold. We may yet meet again, Your Uncle Herbert. And so much of this letter makes so much more sense to me now with all the other things that I've discovered. But I will say briefly, without spoiling too much, you are Simon. The player character is Simon. And Mary is your mother. And she is the niece of Herbert Sinclair, the Baron of Mount Holly Estate. And as you can probably guess, Simon was not reunited with his mother before his 10th birthday. And we're not quite sure why yet. I'm not, at least. And Herbert's plans to make sure that Simon was shielded from the fallout and made sure that he was comfortable. Like, that's part of what's going on in this game is your great uncle Herbert has passed away and has passed Mount Holly Estate on to you so long as you can reach room 46. And Marigold is part of your mother's pen name as an author, Marion Marigold. All right. A little bit of gameplay mechanics, a little bit of lore, and we're off. Okay. Please give me the garage. There's the garage. Thank goodness. Because I can grab some keys. Since I turned on the power to the garage in the utility closet, I can open the garage and reach the entrance and the trading post more easily if I want to. Rather than having to go back through all these rooms, I can just follow this path outdoors back to the front, which uses up like 2 or 3 steps rather than like 14. Also, the car keys are somewhere in this estate. The security said that the car keys were in the estate. So the car keys have to be in one of the rooms I drafted before security. They are probably in the morning room because the morning room typically has an item on this little side table outside this door, and it is so easy to miss it. So rather than go all the way back to the front and assume it's in one of these earlier rooms I drafted, I'm going to guess that it is in the morning room and hope I don't have to go too far to find them. So this is what I was talking about with backtracking goofing. It's like you try to avoid it, but sometimes you can't help it. And there they are, the car keys. I'm so good at this game, guys. So smart and talented. I gotta get my affirmations in because my brain likes to do a lot of the opposite these days. And I went the wrong way. I'm such an idiot. Jeez, how could I even think that was... Okay. So the car keys are a special item. Yeah, a step is... you only lose a room every time you move... you only lose a step every time you move through a doorway, essentially. And the car keys open this, which usually has some nice items. Lockpicks are very useful. If I run out of keys, or if I don't want to use up my keys, I can try out the lockpick on a locked door and conserve some of my resources. So let's keep going. Well, I don't like any of these, so I could redraw. Probably should redraw. Because weight room, I would lose half my steps, and that's never great. Archives, while drafting, you will no longer be able to see all 3 of your potential floor plans. So essentially, I'll still be able to draft 3, but one of them will be in a confidential folder. And so I won't know if it's a room that I really want to draft or don't want to draft. The weight room, because of stuff I've done previously, does open this lower door to the antechamber. And it's also a 4-door room. But losing half my steps would not be good. So I think I'm going to redraw and hope I get the Cloister of Mila. Man, they're throwing all the red rooms at me. Dark room you can counteract by... Oh, you know what? I was going to say, oh, the utility closet is so far away, but because I opened the garage, I can get to the utility closet easily. Here's what happens when you draft the dark room. Oh, you can see stuff. Hey, Empathy 3 Drew. Welcome to the chat. I am on day 79. I've got 7 of 8 red letters. I don't know how familiar you are with this game. But I've discovered a lot of stuff and have not unlocked a lot of other stuff. So, yeah, welcome. So, yeah. Now I can't see, and if I try to draft off those doors, then I won't be able to see what I'm drafting. Oh, you've 100% of the game? Sweet. Yeah, I've got, like I said, I've got 8 of the red letters, and I've unlocked a lot of stuff. Like, I have access to Blackbridge Grotto, and I started unlocking the stuff with the fountain in the garden, but I haven't found the nodes to unlock the door in Blackbridge Grotto. I still need to solve the castle puzzle in the... it begins with a P. The outer area you get to with the outdoor elevator. I've gotten 6 out of 8 Sanctum keys. I haven't solved the Carrerica sigil yet. Thanks. I will admit some of that is with the help of the Blueprints wiki. I tried just using the hints for the gallery puzzle, and there was only one of them I was able to figure out on my own, and that was there was only one I was able to figure out without revealing the solution, and that was after reading the 4 hints that they gave on the Blueprints wiki. So I will admit I haven't solved everything myself, but there are other things that I'm very proud of solving myself, like the clock tower puzzle, and a bunch of other stuff. And some of the stuff is just luck of the draw and persistence. So I don't feel too bad about some of the stuff that I've looked up. Because some of it I looked up and I'm like, I don't know if I ever would have gotten that. But yeah, for the newbies in the chat, since I have easy access to the entrance hall now, I'm just going to go there, turn the dark room back on in the utility room. I might stop at the trading post. Imp is saying the gallery is just on another level, but I didn't beat the game alone either. I posted my whole playthrough on the Blueprints Discord server along the way, and they helped me a lot. Oh, nice. Yeah, I haven't hopped into the Blueprints Discord server, but that would be a good resource to have. Is there anything? I used the car keys, so now I can trade them for something. Yeah, I'll take 2 ivory die. More redrafts. I think I'll keep the rest of this stuff. Yeah, I don't... Compass is like such a so-so item for me. But since I'm here and I have the shovel, might as well dig in here. Yeah, and what's my objective right now? So I guess one of them is figuring out the Carrerica symbol or sigil puzzle, because I I know that the color is orange and the transportation is, or I think the color is orange and the transportation is the turtleback, but I can't seem to figure out the weather or the symbol for the society. Um, or I may have everything wrong and I'm just blind. um, but yeah, that's one of the big ones because I have the door open. I just haven't solved the puzzle. I guess another one is figuring out Blackbridge Grotto, which I feel like I found a few clues for it, but I don't know how to interpret them. Like there's that one paper in the locker room that has 6 on it or whatever, and then there's another paper in there that has the 0110 or something. I've been taking screenshots of everything to help myself, but that I think I've taken like 600 something screenshots of this game now, and I do have written notes as well. But yeah, part of it is just like I'm doing runs and drafting stuff and seeing if anything clicks. Do you want a quality of life hint that's going to help to understand how to solve some of the sigils? So I know about the stamps, and I've made the connection between like, oh, all of the red rooms are clearly meant to represent Fenaries, and all the orange rooms are meant to represent or connect to Carrerica, and green rooms are meant to connect to Nuance and that sort of stuff. Oh, not a solution, but a pattern. I love patterns. So, yes, do tell. Yeah, I in particular have been getting frustrated by Carrerica, so any advice you can offer is appreciated. Because I really have been avoiding looking up those solutions because those are such like a big part of the game, the sanctums. Okay, so what was I doing? I shoveled, I traded. I'm going to the utility closets. So I can turn the dark room back on and get back to drafting. I really wish that the commissary had the running shoes in it, but no, it was just like keys and gems and food, which is all useful. In fact, I might go there right now to get some more food. But yeah. Okay. So yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like I tried turtleback turtleback transportation, heat for the weather, and spiritual for the society, and then orange for the color, the banner color. So I'm guessing that it's the society that I had wrong, but I kind of tried to brute force it at one point and just cycled through all of the society symbols, and none of them seemed to work. So maybe I'm missing something else. But I'm going to eat all these bananas. And you know what? I might as well get a set of gems and some of the keys just to be safe. I've got plenty of money. There's no reason not to. And now I'll go back through the... Wait. Yes. Dining room, entrance hall, back to the garage. That's a lot of the stuff in this game, Imp. Like, the first time you see something, you don't realize that it's a hint, and then later you're like, wait a second. That reminds me of something I saw like 8 days ago. Okay. Where am I going? Back to the dark room. I was just reviewing the security tapes from 1987. I associated most things to a puzzle, actually, but I'm kind of familiarized with this kind of game, so... Yeah. That's the thing is, like, there are certain places where my pattern recognition is like, oh, I know exactly what's going on here, and other times where my brain is just like, I know there's a connection somewhere here, but it's not making it. I've drafted everything, but I mean, I'll do this just to draft it. Not use up a redraft. And there's a magnifying glass. Which would be very useful if I hadn't already solved this one. So I already got the file cabinet key from here. I know that there's at least one other one, I think in the laundry room. So that is another thing that I've been trying to do, but I've had a really hard time like drafting the archives and the laundry room. Or it was like a run I did last night where I discovered or looked up on the Blueprints wiki, like, okay, which of the things in the aquarium actually have file cabinet keys? And it was like, oh, the laundry room, also technically the bedroom, but later you have to have this. That's the thing that I think I find most frustrating about this game sometimes, is that, like, even if you look something up, you have to have the combination of like perfect circumstances to get the thing that you want, and you can improve those chances with stuff like the redrafting and stuff, but sometimes it's just a hassle. I'll get the kitchen. So what do we got in the dining room today? Stuffed quail. So the trophy room. I'm gonna get the... Actually, I'm gonna hold off, because if I draft the weight room, if the weight room pops up again, I can draft that and then eat some food, and then I won't lose as many steps. Yeah. Ah, the cloister. No, you're right. There is a skill to the drafting. That's why they have the 5 different volumes. I can't remember if I've read all of them, though. I got all 3 of the ones from the bookstore. And there's the one in the drafting room that I'm sure I've read. But I feel like I might have missed one when I was looking at the locations on the Blueprints wiki the other day. Yeah, like I like to think I've gotten a lot better at drafting since like reading some of the drafting strategy things. The big one for me was when they were like, just try to draft the lower ranks as much, like all of the lower ranks as soon as you can to like get resources, and then when you get up into the upper ranks, you've got stuff you can use. I've also seen this, which I know is related to the castle puzzle and the... Why do we want to keep calling it the periphery? That's not what it is. I can't think of what it's called. Okay, yeah, let's draft off of this one. Let's do secret passage, but where would I go with the secret passage? Use the passageway. I just use the cloister of Mila. Use the courtyard. I mean, I could try to purposely draft the weight room. Or like the showroom. Will it get me another cloister though? I thought that was only if like I got the Chamber of Mirrors or like added another cloister into my drafting pool, since I just drafted the cloister. Oh, the aquarium too. That's a good point. Okay. We'll do green thumb then. I like the green rooms. A electric eel aquarium. I also have kind of made the mistake of making more rooms commonplace than I probably should have. But like if I could make any of like I could afford to make them. I would be cool with making the breakfast nook unusual or something. There are some of the like more commonplace rooms that I wish I could make unusual to free up room for the better rooms, but yeah, I regret upgrading the nursery to the no, no offense taken, because I did that upgrade at a time where I was having so much trouble just getting gems that I was like, oh, I gotta try anything I can, and then I don't think I think I've drafted it like 3 times since I upgraded it, and it has never benefited me. So no offense taken. It was a bad call. Gonna play through without the indoor nursery, since the game doesn't have another green room to show up because of green room restrictions. It's forced to give you another cloister. Oh, interesting. Very interesting. But yeah. Okay. Let's draft off of this. Do I want to do that, or do I want to try to draft something that'll get me to the West Wing again? Nah, I can get something off the electrical core, I'm sure. And getting another observatory will give me more stars. A pair of chests has been added to the entrance hall. Yeah, the guest bedroom one, I am so happy to have anytime I get the sleeping mask. And yeah, the storeroom was another one where it's like, okay, uh, now that I've gotten, like, I have a 68 allowance, and I've got enough stuff to supplement my gems that it's like, okay, the the only thing I really need to be careful about at this point is keys because they cost so much more, and there aren't as many ways to supplement them just by like having like the gemstone cavern or whatever. Uh, so yeah, let's go north. One of the things I find frustrating about the lockpick kit is sometimes you draft it so late in the game that it ends up being kind of useless. Okay, I know the solarium would be useful right now, but oh, the guest bedroom. I was thinking of the spare bedroom. Um, yeah, I got the Geist bedroom because like the dice were another resource where I was like, I mean, couldn't hurt to get more of those redraw dice. But yeah, the plus 10 steps is really nice, and I do kind of miss having that. You know what? I'm gonna redraw and see if I can get. I've used up a lot of the three-way rooms. Oh my gosh. Or even the weight room. I would accept the weight room at this point. The laundry room. Okay. Or the pool. Let's do the pool. Because that gives me two things. I just heard the dinner bell, so I can go back to the dining room and get steps. So I've already gotten the showroom trophy, so like money is not as much of a thing now. That was one of the goals I had recently. Yeah, steps do matter. Yeah, this is still my first run of the game. um, but do I want to use the silver key I just got? Do I want to save that for the cloister? Yeah, you know, I'll just use a regular key. Or the lockpick kit worked for once. I might just draft the classroom. I got to the west side like I wanted to. Oh, you know what? I'm kind of wishing that had done the music room earlier because I might have gotten the secret garden key. But you know, even then, like, even with the music room and the locksmith lately, I am not guaranteed the secret garden key. Yeah, let's do the classroom. Or I could do the walk-in closet because I can still draft off the pool and potentially get that upper. Yeah, let's do that. I mean, I'm always loosely trying to get to the antechamber. It's not as much of a big deal to me now, but regardless, again, there are certain things where I've clearly figured out a system, and other things where I'm just like, oh well, it'd be nice to be able to draft as many spaces as I can, or it would be nice to get to the antechamber if I can. But yeah, there have been a bunch of my more recent runs where getting to the antechamber has not been as much of a concern of mine. More of a like, don't know why my brain just went to Sesame Street. Sometimes food. You know what? Let's do the pump room, because then I can actually see the clues in the aquarium for once. Again, I did see them and I got one of the, I got the file cabinet key that was on the patio. Let's see if we can get... Ooh, servants' quarters. I have one, well, technically 2 bedrooms if I count the aquarium. I'll do it anyway. No other special items in here. Oh, I don't know if I've ever drafted the spare bedroom on one of the outer walls, so I never got the window. That's such a nice lighting effect. Oh, lever. Not that I'm probably going to need it for anything. Okay, so let's drain all the water from the aquarium. What's the easiest way for me to do that right now? Put it all in the pool? Or back into the reservoir? I'll put it back into the reservoir for now. Or at least I'll put what's currently in the tank into the reservoir. That's one of the fun things about, again, we were talking about replayability before, and even something as simple as like, oh, the rooms change if you draft them on one of the like outward facing walls rather than internally. And okay, so now aquarium. Let's do this. And this. I got the sanctum key in the reservoir, and I got to the station and got the sanctum key there. I could just hit this button again. So yeah, I'm only missing 2 sanctum keys. I think. Yeah, because I have 6 doors open. The ones that I haven't, let me bring up my screenshot of the Realms poem. Please hold. Okay. I might even be able to bring that up on screen, potentially. Where's the Realms poem? Talk amongst yourselves while I figure this out. When did I finally get to room 46? too far back. This is the problem with screenshotting there it is. Okay. Let me see if I can bring this up on stream. If I do this. Yeah. There we go. Okay. I still know how to use OBS properly. I haven't streamed in 2 months. Yeah, so the first key found here on the furthest rank, obviously got that one. Second locked right in the vault of a bank, got that one. Third is high up among all the clocks. I solved the clock tower puzzle. Oh yeah, no, there are some days where I've gotten so many steps and then looked at the map and just been like, there's nothing else I can do right now. I have all these steps and nothing to use them on. I want to say the most amount of steps, or I know at least the most amount of money I've gotten was like 286 the other day. But I can't remember I know I've broken 200 on number of steps. There's a fourth down below beneath all the docks. Got that one, the reservoir. Fifth key is held by a king on his throne. So that one I haven't gotten. Sixth is a station left by one of your own. Got that one. Seventh is major if you draft it quite late. Did get that one. And the last key is waiting behind the last door of 8. So I did look up some of the stuff on room 8 in the Blueprints wiki. I don't think I got the Sanctum key that's there because it involves like there being a different solution to that puzzle, I believe. I do technically have the. Don't I have the key to room 8? Yeah, because I got the gallery. I drafted the gallery this run. I think I misunderstood something. Behind the last door of 8. So I am missing the key held by a king on his throne. And I believe the last key behind the last door of 8. Yes, the 8th and the 5th. And I think. Yes, I would like a hint for the eighth key. Because I think I know what I need to do for the 5th key. Roommate only has one solution. Okay. So maybe maybe I did get that Sanctum key. Because I solved that puzzle. Oh, behind the last door of 8 implies that it's somewhere with many doors. Okay. Which, like, part of me would think, like, oh, the last key is waiting behind the last door, which would make it impossible to get. But I imagine that is not exactly what it's talking about. It might be talking about the last safe, where the last letter is as well. Interesting. The last door of 8. Cryptic clues. Okay, what was I doing? I was draining the aquarium. Okay. So I'm gonna go back to the kitchen and eat a bunch of food. And then I'm gonna draft what I can off the Cloister of Mila. Okay, that's what I figured. I had a feeling it wasn't the Sanctum doors, because that would be a dick move. Okay. Kitchen, food. See, I've also got a couple of trunks waiting for me in the entrance hall. And what else was I just thinking about? I'm trying to draft. Oh, there's a food in the dining room, but I'm going to see if I can draft the trophy room up here. And also potentially the laundry room, because I think that's the other. Well, I'm about to go into the aquarium, so I can see what clues are there. Okay. So, don't see anything there. That was the patio, which I got. I was reading on the Blueprints wiki, like this is a red herring, because that's like the West Hall or East Hall or something. Laundry room. See, I don't see an X here though. Doesn't mean it's not there. I do have a shovel. And yeah, that's the file cabinet that you use. Okay. So I'm also potentially trying to draft the archives, but I have a feeling I'm not going to be able to solve that tonight. In any case, let's go eat some food. Come on. Bring this back up. This. Okay. Thanks everyone who's hanging out right now. I genuinely had no idea if I was going to draw any sort of audience, because I didn't do, like, it was a very impromptu stream, but appreciate y'all being here. Yeah, let's get the club sandwich. And yeah. Yeah, I got a lot of green rooms today. And I'll save these last three in case I draw the weight room. Yeah, this is where I wanted to use the silver key. And there's the weight room. There's the great hall. But the weight room will open the door to the antechamber. See, this is why I was going to hold off on eating anything. Oh, fuck it. That was such a bad move. Bananas, save me. We're having fun out here. It's not all about making good choices. Okay, pull the lever, Crunk. What would be really cool is if I could draft the trophy room off of this doorway. If I draft the archives, I won't be able to see if I've got the laundry room in my fucking Fuck it. I'm already feeling like this isn't gonna be the run for solving the archive stuff, but I don't need the key, but I could go back and trade it for something. Man, I really should have drafted before eating that stuff in the kitchen. Okay. And now, pain. Armory. Yeah, archives isn't that bad. If it had the axe, I would have been so happy. Axe is probably my favorite item in the game. So we're looking for the laundry room, which has a cost of 1 gem, I think. Let's do the music room just because I like the music in this room a lot, fittingly enough. Oh, and of course, there's the fucking secret garden key. Once I've drafted to a point where I can't actually get it. Such a simple set of chords and melody, but it sets such a mood. Oh, I could get the code check. Yeah, because I can't. Yeah, not that I would want to at this point. Let's redraw just to see if I can get something else. Let's redraw just to see if I can get something else. Mailroom. I'm fine with that. I've gotten all but I think like the last letter. That was another upgrade I did, the no contact delivery. Okay. So, I'm kind of inclined to try, well, first I need to eat in the dining room and get some steps back. But I think I want to try doing the Carrerica sigil. Oh, 2 letters for the wait, missing 2 letters. See, this is the thing, is you could be referring to so many different meanings of letter. You could be talking about these 2 letters of the secret message, which technically there are 3 letters missing. Or you could be saying, oh, there's a 9th red letter. Or, okay, no, oh, you were talking about the letters in the mailroom. Yeah, okay. That's what I was wondering. It looked like there might be only room for 1 more letter, but yeah, I wasn't sure if it was 1 or 2 more letters. Okay. Also, speaking of music, if you like music, go check out my website. I have music there. I make music. I talk about music. I did a whole 20 videos on the music from Silent Hill 2. Okay. So the last letter I got is the one about the server administrator controls and how he wanted to set up the Jones admin key in Blackbird Grotto. Okay. So, okay. That's why I figured that gap looked like 1 or 2. Okay. Okay. So what now? What's the quickest way to get myself some food? Go back down to the armory, to the weight room, cloister. Bought all the bananas in the kitchen. I need to get back to the dark room, so I guess it's 6 of one, half dozen of the other. And then from there, I can either go to the garage or go through the foundation. I'll go through the garage first and get the food from the dining room because I can get to the basement through the secret passageway. Okay. Armory, weight room, cloister, and then go either way to get to the dark room. Do I need anything in here? I'm pretty sure I've lit everything that I can, so I don't need to buy either of those things. And I've got a sledgehammer for those trunks in the entrance hall. Okay. Yeah, let's do this. So this was the other thing I was trying to figure out is like this is a very classic wallpaper, but I was like, does that have to do with Carrerica somehow in the sigil? Okay, I did buy all the bananas. Okay. Garage, that's where we're going. Everyone have a good holiday, or having good holidays if they're on break. Oh, I got this seat covering from my brother, which I very appreciate living in a cold place. Do I need to... I can trade stuff. Is there anything I need to trade, though? Probably not. I might just see what I can get for different things. I mean, I don't have the storeroom or the coat check, so it's not like I'd be able to save any of this stuff. But if I could get the running shoes, that'd be nice. Probably can't, though. I already used the car keys this run. Sleeping mask. Oh. If I only have like 3 bedrooms in the estate. Compass. Salt shaker. Broken lever. Basement key. Secret. Yeah, okay. I don't need any of this. Okay. So we're eating in the dining room. Did I already buy all the bananas from the commissary too? I'll double check. Breaking these open. And getting useless gems. Useless money, useless ivory dice. No stone left unturned. Wait, why am I going over this way? It's just going to put me over here anyway. Have dinner. Double check the commissary to make sure I didn't miss any food there. Nope. I bought all the bananas already. Security's all the way up there, so I'm not going to bother checking to see if there's any other items I missed. Let's go down to La Ballet door. I mean the Sanctum doors. And show off one of the most secret areas of the game. Not really that secret. There are other areas that are more secret because I haven't reached them yet. Beneath Mount Holly Estate, there lies many secrets, like ones you can get to using that elevator. Or the secret passage through the sealed entrance into the shrine of the Silver Monkey. I also did get this room open. So, I'm going to pull this just for the sake of it. This is the lever that opens the door to room 46. And if I could solve anything in there right now, and I had the steps to get back there, that might actually matter. But I can't, and I don't. So I'm going to focus the rest of my attention for the rest of the stream on this, the sigil puzzle for Carrerica. And I'm going to bring up my, what I'm referring to in my head as my digital red string hold on, actually let me bring this up for a second so I can have it for reference if I need it. But yeah, my digital red string board. It'll be fine, I'm sure. So, feast your eyes on this. The geography worksheet. So, for those who aren't familiar, at the core of this game is a whole mythos about this fictional world that this game takes place in. You've got these different countries that have different symbols and different things associated with them. So, I'm not going to get into all of the lore behind this, but suffice to say, these sanctum rooms that I currently have access to have these big symbols in them called sigils, and each country has a sigil associated with it. and if you can figure out what overall, like what the different elements of the sigil are for a particular country, you can solve the sigil for that sanctum chamber and get access to a letter from Herbert Sinclair and a Morajai box, which is a little puzzle box that can give you more allowance. But for example, this is the sigil for the country of Araja. Its color is purple. Its transportation is a train system. Its weather is rainy. And its society is poetic. Now, what does this all mean for the sigils? So, there is a book in the game called Realm and Rune that basically shows you how each of these symbols are made up. The center of each sigil is a unique shape, different for each realm. If the core gives us a name, then the rest of the sigil tells us the history behind that name. Still, it is important to be able to identify and distinguish the core as a first step in deciphering any sigil, as all the other parts are meaningless if we don't first know the place we are describing. Several example cores taken from well-known sigils: Arinda Ares, Fen Ares, Araja, Korerica, the chamber I'm in right now, and Arch Ares. Transportation is the number of rays around the center. So that's these rays and their positioning around the center. And we've got weather, the style of ray. Straight black lines indicate a lack of unusual or harsh weather, normal temperatures, for example. And then these all have other weather associated with them. The motes, which are these little symbols around the middle. On each sigil, floating between the rays, are small figures called motes. From the shape and style of the motes used on a sigil, we can tell the type of society a given realm proclaimed, if they consider themselves mighty in arms or blessed by artistic and economic fortune. So I've got tribal, agricultural, martial, metropolitan, academic, industrial, spiritual, and poetic. And then the border represents the color. Around each sigil is an adorned edge serving as a container for the information within. There are 8 different borders, each one corresponding to a different color. These borders always correspond to the banner and national colors of that specific realm. So, I have determined, based on the clues I've been able to find, that this chamber I'm in, Korerica, is orange, based on this stamp I got on one of those letters that you saw in the mailroom. It says Vera Shores, which I assume means something. You've got people riding on turtleback, and the whole color of the stamp is orange, which isn't necessarily the strongest indicator, because there are other symbols where the stamp does not reflect the color, like this one for Morajai. The stamp is more bluish, but it did say the white sea of yore at the bottom, which was what made me think, okay, it's white. Also, blue is not one of the colors listed on the borders, which is particularly interesting with all that blue is associated with in this game for blueprints. But a lot of the other stamps do have their color on their stamp. So we've got like Arinda Ares is black, Fen Ares is red, Araja is purple, Nuance I assume is green because that's a very green stamp. Arch Ares is yellow. That's another one where like the stamp doesn't necessarily reflect that very well, but I was able to determine it was yellow from other context clues. Also, I have these little post-it notes I put next to each just to list other things that have that color in case they're important. Because like there's a question on the final exam in the classrooms that says like, oh, which of these combinations of country and like location would not make sense, and it's got like a shop in Arch Aries. All of the shops in the game, all the shop rooms are yellow, or like I can't remember what that answer to that one is off the top of my head, but there's one that is clearly like or like a bedroom in a Raja. That's another thing that I need to wrap my head around better, is there is a made-up language in this game called Arajan, and you discover it in one of the last classrooms you can draft, and they only give you like so many of the words in the language, and there are at least a few notes I've discovered that I'm still trying to translate. But yeah, so I am trying to determine the symbol for Carrerica, because based on if this is the stamp for Carrerica, then it's orange and they're on Turtleback. But I've tried a bunch of different weather and society combinations using that transportation and that banner, and I haven't been able to figure it out. I thought maybe they were spiritual because it's like, oh, they are protective of animals, or they use turtleback, which actually might indicate the opposite. But I don't think that's what that's suggesting. And then I thought heat, perhaps, because it looks almost like a desert, but I don't know. I am going to switch back to the video game now, so I can show you what I'm looking at. So I've got this big symbol. This is probably going to be the last thing that we do tonight, if I'm able to solve it. And if I'm not, then it's still going to be the last thing to do tonight, because I've been streaming for like almost 2.5 hours now. But yeah, so we're in Carrerica, and basically you move this stuff around to change things on the sigil. And this changes the outside, and this is the border for orange. But stuff gets changed by other things, so I always have to do that last. This changes the transportation, and this one would be turtleback. The thing that I'm concerned about is like, it specifically says in Realm and Rune that the rays for turtleback travel are 5 short rays that do not fully extend from the core to the border. So I've been wondering if that might be part of what's causing issues. So this is changing the weather now, and I don't know that it's got any particular weather associated with it based on, because I tried heat before and that didn't seem to work. You know what? Let's just hit the button and see if that does anything. What's that? That's for colder realms in which snow is a common occurrence. Yeah, that didn't look like a snowy realm. Could be windy. We'll do that for now. Get orange on the outside. And then, so the moats. There's tribal, agricultural, martial. This one's martial. Like this is what I did the other night. I was just trying to like every different moat combination, every different weather combination, and it just was not happening. This is academic. Industrial. I know so little about this country. Like, they don't provide any information on it in the history of Orindia, as far as I can remember. Man. This is spiritual, which was the first one I thought it might be. Poetic. So the other thing that I've been trying to figure out is like, okay, if Carrerica is orange, maybe they're associated with hallways. So what would that suggest about their society? Would that make them tribal? Hunter and gatherers? Let me try heat again. Wait, crap, that's transportation. Damn it. Foggy weather. It's wavy line. No, this is the rainy weather. It's stormy weather. Maybe it's stormy weather. Let's try stormy. I mean, I might still have the wrong moat. Part of me wants to look at the Blueprints wiki and just see if there's anything I've been missing. But it might just reveal to me what the Carrerica sigil is. Carrerica sigil. Well, I can already see something from the picture that they're using on the Blueprints wiki that I was wrong about the weather. It's now, I'm really second guessing whether or not this orange stamp is for Carrerica. I also got a stamp yesterday for the last realm. And that one is a snowy realm. Okay. I get it now. This is that orange stamp I was looking at earlier. It's not the stamp for Carrerica. It's for something else. Okay. So Carrerica isn't orange? So then what color is it? Is it pink? I've used black, red, violet. Green has to be nuance. White for Morjai, yellow for Archaeries. It's either pink or orange. Right? Okay, so let's go back to my red string chart. So let me do a quick screenshot of the actual stamp for Carrerica. I'll drag it over. Okay, paste. Okay. And this one's got to be Carrerica because that is the Carrerica symbol, which we know is the Carrerica symbol from Realm and Rune. So I think this one might actually be pink. Or that one might still be pink. I don't know. Was there another place I was getting orange for Carrerica from? Also, pink is tough because none of the rooms are pink, so I can't use that to help me. Let's look at the colors again. Black, which was Orinda Aries. Red was Fen Aries. Violet is Araja. Pink, we don't know. Green has to be Nuance. That is a green ass stamp. Yellow was Arch Aries. Orange we don't know, and white is Morjai. So this has got to be either orange or pink. Could still be orange. And what else would this tell us about Carrerica? Is it spiritual? Does this look like a spiritual statue of some sort? Okay, so we know that the weather is snowy. I'm gonna stick with orange for now just because I feel like I got orange for Carrerica from somewhere other than just that stamp. Excuse me. Transportation is not turtleback. What would be transportation in a snowy realm? Because Imp was saying before that like these make logical sense, which is is the best, like, it should be common sense that puzzles like this should make sense, but sometimes people are lazy with their puzzle building. That is one thing the creator of Blueprints was not lazy about. The puzzles do make sense. So, probably not naval. Probably not. Well, it might be roads, horseback, rough trails, another circle that uses forays. Train system, aviation. Aviation is definitely nuance for the dirigibles. Camels, pack mules, arid or desert trails, two raised. Turtleback travel, we have decided is not. Okay. Okay, first of all, let's get the weather to snowy, which is the ray dotted with falling circles. Okay, so yeah. Okay, so radar, and this has to get changed to that for orange, if it's orange. Sorry, I'm gonna bring the video game back up. Okay. Let me just try this for the heck of it. Well, it's turtleback though. It's not gonna be that. Okay, so then this one changes transportation. Yeah. Doesn't look naval. Do I have more of that in my screenshots? Okay. At the bottom of the stamp, it almost looks like mushrooms or something. Plants of some sort. Hold on, I'll show you guys. Okay. So we've got the statue suggesting perhaps spiritual. And then we've got, that looks almost like mushrooms or something, right? Mushrooms! Shortcut to what? Mushrooms. Or maybe it's just rocks. Maybe it's just rocks. Okay. So we've got snowy. Man, I really don't know about transportation, just based on the stamp. Don't think it'd be aviation. Maybe it's just roads or naval capabilities. Is it this one? Because this one is naval capabilities. It's just for argument's sake. And I still am not certain about orange. Where did I get orange from? Do I have other handwritten notes? This is the thing about this game. It's like, it's so complex, but it also does remind me of like classic puzzle games like Myst, where yeah, you need to take notes if you have any chance of figuring stuff out. To America in any of my notes. Also doesn't help that I wrote all of these notes in random places in a 5-subject notebook. Anyone doing anything fun for New Year's? I am going to be heading down to Pennsylvania to visit some of my college friends, which will be a lot of fun. It's almost one of those situations where, like, I'm looking at notes that have actual words, but there's a part of me that feels like I need to cross my eyes like I'm looking at a magic eye to see the pattern. Oh, you'll be spending time with longtime friends, Octo. Nice. Okay. Oh, the note that I'm looking for wouldn't even be in this notebook. It would be... Aha! I also have graph paper that I have been taking notes on. Did I get it from anywhere besides that stamp? Because if it's not orange, then I'm even more confused. But what else could it be? It's either orange or pink. I refuse to believe that nuance is anything other than green. You joke, Octo, but no. There is a stone slab in the workshop. In the game. The game workshop, not my own personal workshop. I have an abacus there. Okay, let's try a different transportation, at least. Let's try roads. That's roads, right? Or would it be horseback, rough trails? I mean, would you take horses into the tundra like that? Feeling more strongly about spiritual being the right mode. So let me switch that up at least. That's like those mushrooms, those mushroom looking things almost suggest to me agricultural, but I can't square a circle that would be an agricultural snowy society. At least not based on this. Is that really the only Carrerica stamp I've got? I also found this stamp, the one that we were just looking at, in the freezer. Reference the directory while I'm down here. Hold on. Look at all these rooms. Look at all these chickens. The freezer is a dead end. That freezes your accounts. Okay, so it is a blue room. But as we know, blue is not one of the borders that we can choose from, based on the Realm and Room book. Unless something's lying to me. But I didn't see any borders. I didn't cycle through any borders that weren't in Realm and Rune. Okay. There are other places where I can get clues about Carrerica. But I don't know if I can get any of those clues right now. So I may call it tonight. Because I don't want to just look up the solution and solve it based on that. Okay. Well, did not have the triumphant ending to this video that I hoped I would, but I have a place to go for my next run. And yeah, so once again, thank you all for watching. I just put an I just updated the events page on my website, in case anyone's interested in what I've got coming up. If you're in the central New York area, my band Mosaic Mind is going to be playing at Funkin' Waffles in Syracuse, New York at 8 p.m. on Friday, January 16th. If you are not in the central New York area, you will still be able to watch that show if you go to twitch.tv/FunkinWafflesLive. That's Funk N, the letter N, Waffles Live. Funkin' Waffles streams all their live shows, and the VOD stays up for like a week or something. We will probably be able to get the VOD from that night, but if you want to watch it live, then it'll be there. Yes, thank you, Goofin. Streaming wise, I probably won't be streaming again this week because of New Year's and everything. But next week, Wednesday, January 7th, I will be starting my playthrough of Silent Hill 4 The Room, because it is available on GOG.com, and it has probably the most story connections to Silent Hill 2, which is the game that I just finished my playthrough up with earlier this year, back in October. And I'm going to be doing more music analysis stuff with it. Not as much as I did with the Silent Hill 2 remake, just because the soundtrack is a little less thematic, but there'll still be some really cool songs and stuff to talk about, like the songs that Mary Elizabeth McGlynn sings on the soundtrack, like Room of Angel, one of the most iconic songs from the series. And then there are also just really interesting things about the game. Gameplay-wise, it is not the most fun, but aesthetically, it's really striking. It has some of the most disturbing moments in any of the games. Genuinely, like, even including the newer games. I think Silent Hill 4 has one particular moment that to me is one of the most, like, it's just so haunting. And anyway, that is going to be a good time, I think, because it'll also be a chance to kind of laugh at some of the clunkier aspects of the early Silent Hill games. But yeah, I'll be doing that every other Wednesday until I finish the game, starting next Wednesday, January 7th at 7 p.m. Eastern. And I may continue streaming Blueprints. I've been playing it a ton, so I will try to get more into the habit of streaming when I'm playing this, especially if I'm streaming it in the evening. I had this whole notion in my head that I was going to do like Blueprints Mondays, and it was just going to be the thing I did on Mondays, but several Mondays came and went, and I was like, I don't know if I feel like doing it tonight, or I got something else going on. So this may just be something I stream if I'm playing it in the evening and there's nothing else really going on. So keep an eye out for that. I'll try to be at least a little bit consistent about playing it Monday evenings, but again, for any of the events and stuff that I'm doing, or any of the stuff I'm releasing, go to the events page on my website. That website, once again, is iandoherty.com. There's also a link to it beneath the video, whether you're watching this on YouTube or on Twitch. Yeah, keep an eye out for more stuff. Cleo Linda Jones and I have more podcast episodes coming out as well, if you're familiar with her stuff. Cleo has started streaming. I should bring that up. I believe she's at twitch.tv/CleoLinda Jones. And she has started streaming just to get more acclimated with gaming, because her first video game was the Silent Hill 2 remake. She's done a few streams of You Are Not My Neighbor, and is halfway through a Killer Frequency stream at the time of this airing. Like, she did part 1, and then she was gonna do she did half the game, and then she was gonna finish the game in a second stream, and then her internet crapped out, and she hasn't had a chance to finish it yet. But definitely check out her stuff. She's also on YouTube under Cleolinda. And yeah, I hope you all have a good New Year's. I hope the new year is good for you. I'm crossing my fingers, hoping that I get some good news in different areas of my life in the new year. But regardless, we will persevere, or whatever happens. Take care. Have a good night.